Readings from Agrippa. Agrippa's 3 books of occult philosophy. Today we are reading Book 1, Chapter 9. This book was Book 1. There are 3 books. Book 1 was published in 1531. And then Book 3, the other 2 books, the 3 books together were published in 1533. So this is from the 16th century, very important book on magic and occultism. And this was the fountainhead in the 16th century, and it continues to be a fountainhead for understanding Renaissance magic, kind of magic and occult practices and things like that. And this chapter may seem a little bit like word salad, but it's talking about the different operations, which all go back to the elements: earth, air, fire, and water. So again, Book 1, and I provided a link for those. I recommend this on anybody's bookshelf. The 3 books of occult philosophy really is the grand classic on magic and occultism. It's written in the 16th century. I provide a link, so you're getting like authentic Renaissance magic here. I provide a link for those that want to buy a copy. It's monetized, so it helps my channel out if you do get a copy. I actually have a link to the version that I'm reading here, if you want to read along with me. And this book, it's really interesting. It goes into astrological spirits and how to work with them. It goes into constructing talismans. So a really good book on Renaissance magic. Magic as it was understood by intellectuals in the 16th century. So, today we are reading Book 1, Chapter 9. And this is again talking about how everything resolves back to these qualities. So, Chapter 9, of the virtues of things natural, depending immediately upon the elements. Of the natural virtues of things, some are elementary, as to heat, to cool, to moisten, to dry. And they are called operations or first qualities. And the second act, for these qualities only do wholly change the whole substance, which none of the other qualities can do. And some are in things compounded of elements, and these are more than first qualities, and such are those that are maturating, digesting, resolving. Resolving is to bring it back into its original elements. Mollifying, hardening, restringing, upsturging, corroding, or eating away at, burning, opening, evaporating, so you have evaporation, strengthening, mitigating, conglutinating, obstructing, expelling, getting rid of, retaining, attracting, repercussing, stupefying, bestowing, lubrifying, and many more. So things like maturation and digestion and congeal, he's talking about how all these things derive from these first principles. Elementary qualities do many things in a mixed body, which they cannot do in the elements themselves. And these operations are called secondary qualities because they follow the nature and proportion of the mixture of the first virtues, and and as largely it is treated of in physic books. As maturation, which is the operation of natural heat. So maturing or ripening. Maturation, which is the operation of natural heat. And you can kind of see here how, he's talking about magic and occultism. But you could see that he's kind of trying to use more of a scientific mindset, Of course, this is from the 16th century. And later on, we'll get into spirits and talismans, but we have to work through these chapters first. So anyways, as maturation, which is the operation of natural heat, according to a certain proportion in the substance of the matter. Induration is the operation of cold. So also congelation, like to congeal. And so of the rest. And these operations sometimes act upon a certain member, as such which provoke urine, milk, the menstra, and they are called third qualities, which follow the second, as the second do the first. According, therefore, to these first, second, and third qualities, many diseases are both cured and caused. Many things also there are artificially made, which men much wonder at. So here he's talking about kind of these amazing things that he's writing about that have to do with the elements, as is fire, which burns water, which they call the Greek fire. Now, the Greek fire is something that supposedly was used in naval battles, so battles at sea that would burn enemy ships. It's really interesting. It's one of these things that supposedly existed in ancient Greece. So many things also there are artificially made, which men much wonder at, as is fire which burns water, which they call the Greek fire, of which Aristotle teaches many compositions, and his particular treatise on this subject. In like manner, there is made a fire that is extinguished with oil, and is kindled with cold water, when it is sprinkled upon it. And a fire which is kindled either with rain, wind, or the sun. And there is made a fire which is called burning water, and confection whereof is well known, and it consumes nothing but itself. And also there are made fires that cannot be quenched, and incombustible oils, and perpetual lamps, which can be extinguished neither with wind, nor water, nor any other way, which seems utterly incredible. But that there had been such a most famous lamp, which once did shine in the temple of Venus, and which the stone asbestos did burn, which being once fired can never be extinguished. So again, he's talking about all these miraculous, marvelous qualities that we see in the elements. And he's talking about, well, no, there's a natural cause to this. And also, on the contrary, wood or any other combustible matter may be so ordered that it can receive no harm from the fire. And there are made certain confections with which the hands being anointed, we may carry red-hot iron in them, or put them into melted metal, and go with our whole bodies, being fire anointed therewith, into the fire, without any manner of harm. And such like things as these may be done. There is also a kind of flax, which Pliny the elder calls asbestum, the Greeks called aspeson, which is not consumed by fire, of which Anaxalos said, that a tree compassed about with it may be cut down with insensible blows that cannot be heard. So, that is chapter 9 of book 1. That chapter to a lot of y'all may sound like word salad, because it's talking about all these different operations. But Agrippa is starting to use a little bit of the scientific method in a way. Of course, it is in the 16th century. He's saying, no, all these miraculous, marvelous things that you see in nature, there's a natural cause to it. And he kind of breaks this down into the four elements. So, what we do here is we do the readings from Agrippa, and we gradually work through this material, and that is chapter 9. And things are going to get really interesting. It goes in, later on, we'll be getting into the world soul, or anima mundi, this idea that the cosmos was a living being, and kind of Agrippa's model that we have the realm here, the elemental realm that has like stones, vegetables, animal plants, stones, metals, things like that were used in classical magic. Stones, this stone is lifted from Agrippa. Chrysoprase, stones, metals for talismans. Sometimes you can find like animal bones in nature. No harm comes to but you can find like bones in nature, so bones and things like that were very much part of Renaissance magic, and what Agrippa breaks down in his 3 books is how you can create a vessel, think of like a cup, a vessel to receive celestial or astrological powers. So that every stone, every plant is associated with a particular star. So it goes back into the Hermetic axiom, as above, so below. So by getting the proper stone or metal, you could properly attract, and through a ritual and the suffumigations of incense, you can draw down celestial spirits and divine powers. But right now we are in book 1, and book 1 deals with the elements and what Agrippa calls natural magic. So we're going to keep working through this material here, and we are getting into 16th century sources on magic. Once again, I provide a link if you want to read along with me. So I've got a link here in the description of this actual copy. I like this because it's compact. I can just carry it with me. I used to recommend in my videos reading 1 chapter a day. You know, that's where we get a lot of our stuff. We have the celestial writing, the Malachim alphabets, all of these types of things, the Theban script. He talks about how letters can be combined into sigils. He goes into astrological spirits, and so very important. So this is the great classic of Renaissance magic. So we're going to go deeper into this book, and we're not going to shy away from it. Like, you know, he goes into, like, and a lot of things are very different than you see in a lot of modern occultism. I'm looking for a particular part, but I already read the chapter. It's just I can't get away from y'all. I have to keep making a new... But here we go. Yeah. So, like, for example, the zodiac signs, it breaks it down by the spirits and the parts within us and the stones. So this idea of as above, so below. All that is below is a reflection of that which is above. And by peering into the stars, we can kind of catch a glimpse, according to Agrippa, into the mind of God. By contemplating the stars, we understand ourselves. By looking within ourselves, we can understand the stars. We can understand nature. And everything in nature, whether it be the 4 elements, of course, everything here could be resolved into the 4 elements according to Agrippa, but every star, every planet, the rising of the sun, the path that a salmon takes in a river, all of these things were seen as a glimpse into the mind of God, the divine mind. But anyways, we're going to go deeper into this. That was the 3 books of occult philosophy, chapter 9, and we're going to keep going into these. All right, thank you so much, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a great day, y'all. See y'all in the next video, y'all.